Welcome everybody. We are starting our session for using Scoutbook, an introduction to Scoutbook for both parents and scouts. I'm going to take you through a few slides and then I'm going to do hands-on training. I would like you guys to ask me as many questions as you want. I will interrupt my flow because I'm really here for you. But I appreciate everybody being on mute until they have a question to ask. Since I'm going to be presenting, I may not see you raise your hand, so just interrupt me and chime right in. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to do a little screen sharing. And again, please ask me lots of questions. I'm here for you. What is Scoutbook? Scoutbook is really our cloud tool that helps scouts, parents, and adult leaders track the advancement and different milestones of a scout's career. From the time he starts, even Cub Scouts, all the way till he graduates out of even Venture Crew, which is like 21 years of age. So we in Troop 2 have been using Scoutbook for now over about 2.5 years, and we're always learning new things. It really helps our scouts update all their ranker requirements and keep track of them all. It also helps our scouts with their merit badge requirements, and Scoutbook has emailing capability, so you can email your patrol and just remind them of certain activities you're doing, certain outings you're doing. Parents get a tremendous amount of advantage also in that they can track their scouts' progress, and I'm going to show you all of this. So you can see how Owen and Lucas are doing on their rank, and Eric can log in and see how Marcus is doing, how Kara is doing on their merit badge. Is there something they should be doing? What are they missing? They can track their leadership. Parents can track leadership requirements as well. So my son or my daughter is a patrol leader. How are they doing? When were they a patrol leader? Scoutbook has a very, very great historic database. So you can go back 4 years and say, when was Owen a patrol leader? And it will tell you. It also is a great facility to communicate with other parents in the troop. Hey, Marcus and Kara need a ride. Hey, Rak, do you think you could help? I prefer traditional email personally myself. Scoutbook is a good emailing tool. I prefer not to use it. I prefer to use my Gmail account when I want to talk to Eric or I want to talk to Suzanti. But it's there. It's there. Okay, I'm telling you my personal preference. Feel free to try it. So parents can really stay informed by using Scoutbook. It will tell you everything about your Scouts experience and leadership and rank advancement. How do you access Scoutbook? It's really, really simple. It's just scoutbook.com. Now, everyone needs their unique login ID from the parents to the scouts. Each person. So Owen needs his own, Lucas needs his own. That's the only way each scout can log in to see their rank advancement. That's the only way they can track their merit badges. If Owen and Lucas were to share an email, it would just not work for them. So same as Marcus and Kara. So if you have siblings, you have 2 or 3 kids, they each individually need one, as well as parents. So for Ricky and Suzanti, you need 4 independent email addresses, okay? If you haven't, the credentials of myscouting.org and Scoutbook are one in the same. So whatever email address you used, whatever username you used on myscouting.org, that is what you're going to use on Scoutbook. And that's what's referred to as single sign-on, SSO. You'll see that in Scoutbook. Single sign-on means you use the same login credentials on myscouting.org as you would in Scoutbook. Now, if you haven't created a
So I think that means what I've talked to the tech support and people, you need to create a my.scouting.org account first
I'm getting there,
Or you
Mark.
can go to Scoutbook.
That's what I'm doing. So if you don't have a MyScouting account, you cannot access Scoutbook. You need to create one. It's really, really simple to doing it. But if you don't have an account, Scoutbook is closed book to you. Okay. There are some workarounds to it, but I'm not going to tell you. I need you to log in as a parent on myscouting.org. Okay. Again, if there are some questions that happen after, feel free to email me. You all know where I am. Okay, so let's take a look at different workflows. If you look at the way a Scout advances, whether it's rank requirement or merit badge requirement, there are really 4 steps. And Scoutbook really mimics that. So first, a Scout learns. So he's going to go into his Scout handbook. He's going to master 1 or 2 or 3 skills. At which point he's going to go into Scoutbook and then say, I have just completed either a merit badge requirement or I've completed some requirement from the Scout handbook. So we will be doing a double track. We will be using signatures on the physical Scout handbook as well as monitoring everything on Scoutbook as well. Then a Scout is tested. And that's really where PowerPoint is acting up a little. This is where he's going to get in front of an adult leader and say, I know how to now, based on requirement 1A, I would like to show you how to tie a taut line. I would like to show you my square knot. If he passes that successfully, then he will get a blue check mark in Scoutbook. Not only will he get, or he or she get the signature on the Scout handbook, but then the adult leader will go into Scoutbook and turn that green to blue, means it is now approved. He passed the test. Hopefully you're following me on that. So a Scout learns, marks it green. A Scout is tested. He approved. The leader has approved that yes, he has successfully showed me how to tie a square knot. He has successfully showed me how to tie this knot or whatever. Since Scoutbook is a very mobile friendly tool, I can simply use my phone and approve it right there at a troop meeting. And then a Scout is reviewed, which is another part of the Scout handbook, which he has a Scoutmaster conference with Mr. Mark is the Scoutmaster for Troop 7. I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 2, but Eric and other adult leaders can also complete a review. And at which point, whoever completed the Scoutmaster conference with the Scout will then do another leader approval. Usually the Scoutmaster conference and the board of review are the last 2 requirements of every rank requirement. If you look at, if each Scout looks at their book, whether it's tenderfoot, second class, first class, all the way, Scoutmaster conference and board of review are the last 2 requirements. So once again, a leader has to approve that. And then the 4th and last step of an advancement is a Scout is recognized. And that's where we have our Court of Honor every 6 months. Now, our new Scouts have not had the honor of having a Court of Honor because we've been sheltered in place. It should have happened last week. This is where we all meet in the gymnasium. The adults, family members, neighbors, friends, they all come and we celebrate the great accomplishments of Troop 7 and Troop 2 Scouts. And they're presented with their merit badges. They are presented with their badges for rank advancement. So in Scoutbook, there are really 3 different color codes. Green, where the Scout says, I believe I have successfully learned something or I have successfully completed a merit badge requirement. That green then turns to blue when a leader says, yes, I agree. You've been tested. you have showed me a square knot, or you've completed a merit badge requirement. And then that green at Court of Honor, or that blue, I'm so sorry, will turn to gold when the merit badge is awarded to that scout, or the rank advancement badge is awarded to the scout. But that gold, the number 4, is done every 6 months. But you will see in Scoutbook, as you start to use it, you'll see different color codes, and I wanted to bring you up to speed on what the color codes mean. Green, blue, and gold. It is really up to each scout to keep Scoutbook up to date. All of our adult leaders know that they cannot complete a Scoutmaster conference with any scout unless Scoutbook is up to date. As I said, the last 2 requirements of just about every rank, with the exception of Scout, is Scoutmaster Conference and Board of Review. But you have to have all the previous requirements done before you can do a Scoutmaster Conference. So that's why it's important that Scoutbook is completely up to date before you request a Scoutmaster Conference. In fact, all the adult leaders will check to make sure. And some scouts have been rejected from a Scoutmaster Conference because their records were not up to date. So it is the scout's responsibility. Okay.
You know, there's another reason to do it. In fact, when you do complete a requirement, do it right then. Put it in the system so your Scoutmaster has an opportunity to review it and approve it. We also create our program based on what requirements are needed. So if you do not go in and check off that you've completed a requirement, we assume you don't have it done. Therefore, we fill out our program to go through that, and all of a sudden we're redundant. And this is, I've already done it. Why are we doing this? So please, once you complete a requirement, go right in then and do it as soon as possible so that when we are going forward to the next meeting, we know who is what completed what. Similarly with merit badges, we just can't operate unless you really use the Scoutbook system for merit badges, which he'll be going through in a minute. Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to take you through 3 different viewpoints. The first viewpoint I'll start with is a parent's perspective. Then I'll log out, and then I'll come back into Scoutbook as if we were having a scout experience, and what would a scout do, and then what does a leader do, and how does a leader use Scoutbook. So 3 different users are going to interact with Scoutbook in this hands-on training. So here we are. We're at Scoutbook, scoutbook.com. You can use it on your cell phones. You can use it on your PCs, on your Macs. They're all very user-friendly. And I'm going to log in right now at the top. And I'm going to log in as a parent. A parent has less privileges than an adult leader. So depending on who you are, what role you have within Scoutbook, you'll have different accesses. So here I am a parent, and the first thing you should always do is you just hit my dashboard. When in doubt, hit my dashboard. That's what you're going to do.
Are you trying to share that?
Yes.
Oh, we just see the PDF for your.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. I am going to do a new share. And I am going to I'll just share my whole screen right now. Okay, so I'm gonna log out. Okay, so here we are using Scoutbook. I'm going to show you the first perspective, which is logging in as a parent. Always hit my dashboard. They have a lot of different things here. There are a lot of forms you can look into, change logs. You can spend the whole day on Scoutbook and get overwhelmed. But the most important one as a parent is just click my dashboard. Under my dashboard, you will see what troop you belong to, who are your scouts, in terms of your sons and daughters. So right now, this parent has 2 sons enrolled in Troop 2. We have Johnny and we have Sean. And they see that they have a little dial that says they're 61% completed towards their next rank, and Sean, their other son, is 100% completed. You can, here you can click on My Accounts, and you can edit your profile. You can add your picture if you want. You can update your email. This is where you're going to take care of all of that. Change your password. You can edit your profile. Sorry, I did that already, but you can go in and change your phone numbers. I personally have signed up for text messages, so if anybody wanted to send me a text message, they can. All of your scouting experience, whatever you'd like to do, but you should update as a parent. You can upload your photos. If you, like Eric, are going to be one of our adult leaders, here's where you will update your position and say, I'm a merit badge counselor, I am a assistant scoutmaster, and so on and so forth, and you'll complete all your training logs. For the most part, for Ricky and Suzanti and Aaron and Jesse, they will basically play with edit profile, maybe upload their pictures, and so on and so forth. Okay. Up at the top here is the home button. You can always just say, I'm lost, I'm not really sure where to be. You can just click home and you'll be brought back to the top page. And you can click on My Dashboard once again. Okay, so you can go into My Account, which we just did. You can look at your two sons that are in Troop 2. You can see there. You can click on Troop 2 also, and you will see all the different patrols. And if we go to Trash Panda Patrol, you will see all of the scouts. Now, I, as a parent, only have access rights to my scout. So if I was to pick here and click on Harrison, it says, sorry, you do not have a connection to this scout. So you can't alter anything, you can't do anything, you can't update any other profile other than you can see this is all grayed out with the exception of Johnny. So I can look at Johnny and I can see everything about Johnny right now. I can edit his profile, I can upload his photos, I can look at his membership, I can do all of that. The big thing for parents is that you're really going to be spending a lot of time on Johnny's advancement, okay, or Owen's advancement, or Marcus's, or Kara's, or Harrison's, or Jake's. So you're going to click here, and you're going to see how they're doing on each rank and what percentage they are completed. If you go lower, you will also see Johnny's, your own scouts, different merit badges that they are working on. If you see a little crest, a red crest, it says that that merit badge that scout is working on is an Eagle required merit badge. You can click through any particular rank you want. Remember, scouts can work on various requirements across different ranks simultaneously. They do not have to complete scout rank first, then move to tenderfoot, then it can be all together. So here you as a parent, remember this is a parent logged in, they can see their progress. Oh, 1A, oh good, marked complete. So all blue means good, means approved. But my son hasn't completed 3B, which has become familiar with your patrol name, your flag, and so on and so forth. He also hasn't completed a Scoutmaster conference, which is usually the last requirement, okay? Very simple, you can see things. Now, as new parents, you could say, I have, Lucas and Owen were on a meeting with Mr. Rak, and they did show him how to tie a square knot. They showed him how to do a 2 half hitches and a taut line. We did it across Zoom. And as a parent, I can say they completed that today. I prefer the scouts to own their own experience, but if you as a parent want to help them, you can. Now notice, a scout learns, so he is now going to be green until Eric or Mark or another adult leader goes into Scoutbook and approves it. And I'll show you that workflow in a minute. The key point, what I'm trying to share with you here, is that a parent can go into their Scouts account and say, Johnny, Tommy did this. I prefer that you let your own Scout do that so they learn Scoutbook and they own their own experience. Okay? If they repeat the process, they will learn a habit, right? It's all about repetition. But I just want to let you know that the parent, in this case, Jody, has said, that's been complete. So Mark and Eric and all the adult leaders will see who marked it complete. And I would very much like to see that say Jake or Harrison and not the parent. But for a little while, we can have some leeway as the younger Scouts learn how to use Scoutbook. So if you as a parent would like to do that, please feel free to do so. And you can do many requirements at the same time. Okay, it doesn't have to be only one. You can do as many as you wish. And you'll see, if you can remember, if you take a look at the top of the screen, you can see where you are exactly. I'm in Troop 2, B for boy. Johnny is in the Trash Pandas Patrol, and I'm in the advancement section right now working on Scout rank requirement. Now, instead of hitting the home button, you can also hit the back button if you want to, and that will take you back one step. But if you ever get lost, feel free to hit the home button and you're back to my dashboard. Now, the other cool thing that you can do here is you can do a reports menu.
So Rak,
Yes.
can I interrupt you for a second? So this
Yes.
was a question I actually had that went back to Cub Scouts as well. On that requirement page you had,
Yes.
up near the top, there's a 2012 date, and then there's, I think, a 2015, 2016 date, that when you toggle between them, it changes what you've done.
Yes.
Is there one that we should always make sure we're on or not, or what's the difference there?
Great question. Great question. So if we go in here, if you are a new Scout, then you want to use the latest date. Okay, so you want to use the 2016, 2020 dates because requirements change. And so if we take a look at Jody, this parent's other son, this other son is way older and he started scouting around 2014. So therefore he would use the 2012 requirements.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, moving forward, any new Scout would be 2016, 20. That was a great question. Okay, so let me go back home and I'll hit my dashboard again. And here's a really cool tool for parents is you can do a reports menu. And don't worry about any of this stuff here. Mark and I and Eric will use this one. You can say individual record. Where is my son? What is he doing? What is he missing? So I'm going to say, I want to see both. And I'm going to generate a report. Okay, so Johnny. He has completed 72% of Scout rank. These are the dates. What is he missing? Oh, he's missing night safety. He's missing cyber chip, and he hasn't done a Scoutmaster conference. Okay. He hasn't done anything in Tenderfoot. He's done a little bit of star stuff because he's already started his hiking merit badge. He's done some cycling. He's done some reading merit badges. So Scoutbook automatically will do an autofill for certain merit badges and certain requirements. So you, as a parent, can keep track of this. So for life, he started Citizenship of the Nation, but he's 0%, and so on and so forth. Now, if I look at my other son, or Jody's son, Sean, if it doesn't have all these check marks down there, because it just has a date at the top that says, this is when your Scout completed that rank, and this is he completed it there, and so on and so forth. Scoutbook is a little finicky, and then sometimes it will put the dates, and other times it will not put the dates, okay? But it will autofill. This report will be very, very handy for you in two ways. One, it will help you monitor progress of for each of your Scouts and, motivate them to, especially in shelter in place, work on a few requirements. But we'll also, this report is synchronized completely with the national database. So when they are applying for their Eagle Scout, the last and highest rank, you will use these dates to fill out the application. These are exactly synced to the national database. So you'll use it when you're applying for your Scouts Eagle rank. And we have plenty of time. You have till the age of 18, so no rush. So this is really a parent's perspective. So where am I? I totally got lost. Boom, just hit the home button and you're back. Then you hit my dashboard and there you go. So you can look at everybody in the troop. Everybody. So Flaming Falcons has 8 Scouts. Who are they? There they are. Oh, actually my son is in, Jody's son is in the Flaming Falcon, so you can monitor his progress. So you can see gray versus red. But you can see that people in Sean's patrol are different ranks. So Alex in his patrol is first class. Corbin is Eagle, Tenderfoot. This is the adult leader for this patrol. So if you wanted to, so let's go back for a second. And let's go to the Trash Pandas.
I have a question, Rak. When you get to it, do they have a view of just the roster without the patrols? So in other words, if you don't know which patrol your son's in. Okay.
Right. That was a great question, Mark. So right now, if you look, there are all these Scouts in there in the Trash Pandas, and Rak Bhalla is their leader. So if I wanted to get a progress report or have a question, I could email Rak Bhalla. Okay, either through Scoutbook or through just regular email. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to hit the back arrow because I only want to go back one step. So these are the whole list of all the patrols we have. But if you forget where, let's say Jake, what is Jake's patrol name, or Jake's buddy and him are going to go on an outing, but I forget where Owen is. So you can hit troop roster. And Scoutbook can be a little slow, and you can see everybody that's in troop 2. On the right side, you can see how many Scouts we have in our troop, and you can see all the different leaders, and you can contact these people. So I needed to find Owen. Where is Owen? Now we have more than one Owen. You can also sort. I prefer on the right side, you see a little gearbox. You can sort by first name or last name. I tend to remember everybody's first name. And there's Owen. Oh, which Owen? Oh man, I can't remember which Owen Jake is buddies with. But since Jake's in Trash Pandas, I think it's going to be this Owen.
Yep.
Okay.
Noble.
Yeah. Okay. Or I want to find Patrick. I want to introduce Jake to Patrick. He's in the Turtle Patrol, and this is his rank. There are 3 little demarcations here. You need not worry about that, but essentially the green means he is synced up, he's verified in, he has connections, and this is the most important part, but Eric, Mark, and I worry about that, and that little circular thing says he's registered in the national database. So anytime Jake or Owen or Lucas or Harrison, any Scout puts out a rank requirement and is approved, it will automatically register in the national database. Okay, so that's why it's really important that, let's say, Jake, you lose your Scoutbook, your actual physical handbook, and you lose it. That's got all the signatures of every little thing you did. It's not gloom and doom like it used to be. It's all registered on Scoutbook. Okay, so that's why it's really, really important to update Scoutbook, that if you lose your blue card with all the merit badge requirements that were approved, if it's in Scoutbook, you haven't lost anything. So I'm going to deviate a little bit and tell you a horror story, and hopefully you'll learn from it. I had a Scout approach me about 8 months ago, said, I've lost 5 of my blue cards. And some had a lot of partials in them. I had a lot of a lot of merit badge requirements done, but I've lost them. And I said, don't worry, it's all good. We'll go into Scoutbook and I'll give you credit. He says, I never updated Scoutbook for all my merit badges. Guess what I had to tell that scout? That scout had to start all those merit badges all again. A year's worth gone. Learn from that, Jake. Okay? Don't always keep Scoutbook updated daily. If you update it, if you got a rank requirement done, if you've got a merit badge requirement done, just go into Scoutbook 10 seconds and update it. Okay. So this is where parents can see every single person involved in our troop, both from the leaders as well as any scout. Okay. So this parent is happy. We're all good. They log out. And the way to log out is just click these, the hamburger bar there, the 3 horizontal bars, log out. All good. Now, Johnny, the scout, he has done some rank requirements. He's did some knot tying. He's done a whole bunch of stuff. So he's going to log in, not as the parent, but we're going to log in as Johnny. And again, you need your own email address, all of that stuff. He's going to go into his dashboard because that's really the first workflow. And this is where each scout just going to click on my account. And again, it tells you I'm in Trash Pandas. I'm 72% done with my rank, and these are my parents. You can edit your profile. You can edit your password. You can upload your photo. And the most of the time you're going to spend, our scouts are going to spend most of the time right here, just like the parents, my advancement. And this is where Johnny's going to go in and take a look and say, you know what, I have been working on Tenderfoot. And I know I practiced the outdoor code, but I didn't go camping. So, oh, God, can't do it. But I know how to demonstrate the square knot. I'm ready to be tested. And I did that. And you can fill in any date you want. Okay. And Johnny also said, I know how to do 2 half hitches. I should have logged in as Jake because Jake did all this with me just recently. And then I also did practical use of a taut line. Okay. And I did that on this date. They can be different dates, whatever you want. Now notice Johnny is saying, I know how to do this. And it shows you it's marked completed as of May 23rd by Johnny. Not by the parent, but by the scout. He can continue to do all of this till his heart is content. I'm going to back out. Should have just really gone back one step here. Okay, I'm going to go back one step. Go to my account again. Go to advancements. And you know what? Not only have I been really eager beaver in working on my ranks, but I have been working on my merit badges. So I did some reading. Now there's a lot of blues, meaning his merit badge counselor has approved it. So you can see the whole chronology, who did what at any time. I'm going to mark for number 5 as that I've completed it, and I completed it today. So a scout can go in and work on rank advancement and say, I've done this. I know how to tie a knot. I just need to be tested. I can be working on merit badge requirements. And at any time, as a parent or as a scout, you will know Johnny's merit badge counselor. So for each merit badge, Mark Hovermail for Troop 7 or Rak for Troop 2 will assign each scout a merit badge counselor. You as a parent and you as a scout will always know who your merit badge counselor is when you log in to your merit badge. So let's take another example. I'm going to go to hiking. Mark Overmail at this phone number is the merit badge counselor. So if my scout or the parent has any questions about merit badge requirements, they're going to reach out to Mark. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, my profile, advancement, and then whatever you want to do, okay? Okay, let's go back. The other part that Scouts are going to spend a lot of time on is my leadership. My leadership is where, now I can't quite see, I have to move you guys, is where you're going to add whatever leaderships that you want. Typically, I am going to assign the leadership roles. You will be able to see them. And I'll show you my workflow in a minute. But you as a parent or you as a scout will be able to see how I'm doing in terms of as a patrol leader, as a patrol quartermaster, or as a troop quartermaster, so on and so forth. And remember what I said earlier, you as a parent will be able to go back years and years. When Jake is 17 or 18, you'll be able to see that, oh yeah, he was a patrol leader 4 or 5 years ago. You'll have this whole chronology, this whole list, history of where his various leadership positions. Okay, let's go back. So as a scout, you can also do your reports. You can see where am I doing, right? Where's my individual report? And you can generate it. So you can see a bird's eye view of where I, as a scout, am. Just like the parent can monitor progress, I want the scouts to own their own experience. I want them to own their own journey in scouting. So from time to time, they can issue this report, say, where am I? What can I be working on? So instead of going through each rank in Scoutbook, create this report and say, oh man, I could be working on, what could I be working on? Flag ceremony? Could I be doing that? How about here? How about there? And it gives you a really good bird's eye view of what ranks you could be working on, okay? Okay, and that's a separate tab that will open, so you can close that. Okay, so that really is what the scout is going to do. The other part, similar to what the parent can do, is they can, administration, they can also monitor their camping logs and service logs and hiking logs. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's not working to my satisfaction. In my opinion, Scoutbook broke what was already working. So it's you right now cannot enter your camping logs or service logs or so on and so forth. What will happen is you get an error message that will pop up saying you're not allowed, you're not part of, you don't have enough privileges. Yeah, I'll leave it very professional and I'll stop there, okay? Okay, let's move on. I'm gonna log out. And now,
I do have one thing to say though. In the back of your paper scout book is a log that when you go camping or have service hours that you go in there and you can log it in paper. And when we get this technical problem fixed, you could transfer that into Scoutbook. Okay.
Oh, here at the back.
yeah, okay.
Wait, why do I need to do this?
Let's just do this. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to take a cue from Mr. Mark for a minute. Take a look at my screen for a minute. So this is my son's book. So the first thing he did is he decorated it. So if he ever loses it, it'll say Sean there. Okay, he has a nice little cover. But when he was just starting off in scouting, he really thought this book was a Frisbee. And so as a result, this book is kind of beaten up. Okay, so Jake, don't use your book as a Frisbee because this is what your book will look like, okay? Okay. So, sorry, I'm throwing my own scout under the bus here, okay? So,
I have a question.
yes, Jarrett, go ahead.
Can my parents sign off on for the rank requirements?
No, parents cannot sign off on rank requirements. Thank you for
Okay.
that. Only an adult leader or Star Scout and above can sign off. Okay. Your parents can work with you on a Scout skill, but they cannot sign off.
So
And
can I ask my brother to sign off?
I would prefer siblings don't sign off for each other. It puts them in a very tough spot. Same as like Eric, who's an adult leader that has 2 Scouts. I would prefer Eric not sign off, because then Mark will say, come on, Dad, I was close to showing it to you. Just give it to me.
Don't worry, my brother
So.
still hates me, so I don't really care.
Okay.
No feelings.
Okay. Okay, so on the back of the book, for this old book, it has all of the rank requirements and so on and so forth. But as Mr. Mark said, I'm trying to show you the activity logs. So there is a section for like a camping log. Let me see if I can show you. Now, my son loved camping so much that he filled his whole book up, so I had to create a new sheet for him so he could keep up to date. And Jake and Jarrett, all of you guys are going to have to do this. You're going to go on so many camping trips because we're so far behind, is I'm going to create new pages for you, and you're going to fill them up. So thank you, Mark, for reminding me. Everything is there. So till they fix it, go in the back of your books and do this.
Oh, we have to put all our camping trips in like positions and stuff.
At least your camping logs, okay? Because you'll need it, and I'll show you that in a little while. So
Is it the one that says location, date, miles, Scoutmaster adult
that's probably
signature,
the
or
hiking
position
one.
/ training, dates, and Scoutmaster adult signature?
Yeah, you take a look at it, Jared. We'll work offline, but it should say camping log. This is an older book.
Oh.
Okay.
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 Oh, I didn't see the top.
But it is really up to you. So I had some scouts that were that I had a Scoutmaster conference with lately, and their camping log showed 2 nights of camping, and they've been scouts now for probably 4 years. They forgot. They were lazy. They were whatever. They're not going to get credit for that. You as a scout cannot come back to me in 6 months and say, can you sign off on this? I'm not going to, because I'm not going to remember. I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday. I'm not going to remember if you went on an outing with me. So it's really up to you to keep everything up to date. Okay, let's go back to sharing.
Yesterday, I had one.
Okay, everybody please mute, and Jarrett, please mute yourself. Okay, now I'm going to log in as an adult leader. So I'm no longer a scout. I'm no longer a parent. I'm going to log in as me. I will see a different view than the parent or as a scout. I am responsible for 3 different units. So I am the Scoutmaster for Troop 2, I'm an Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 7, and an Assistant for Venture Crew 2. So I will see more views than you will. Now I have 2 sons. I have a test son, and then I have an actual son. So I can check their progress as a Scoutmaster. But my job here is an adult leader. What I tend to do is I look at my troop. I'll see what their upcoming events are. In fact, I should have shown parents everything that you can look at. The Troop 2 and Troop 7 have an excellent calendar. So remind me, Mark, I'll go back and log in as a parent. I can see that we have 26 leaders and 54 scouts in our troop. Bird's eye view, nice little dashboard for me. I can see, just like parents, I can see all of the patrols, who's in what patrol, what their rank is, but I have access to every single scout. So if I wanted to talk to Harrison or Jarrett, or if I wanted to give them some approvals, I can do that. Everything for me is red. I have full permission, and I know who the adult leader is, and I can add adult leaders. So if Eric comes on board and says Eric wants to help me be one of the leaders for Trash Pandas, I can just add him. Okay, as a Scoutmaster, I have more privileges. Part of my role, I'm just going to hit the home button, go back to my dashboard. Should have hit the back button actually, but part of my role is to go in and do some troop reports and look at what approvals. So this is where Jake or Jared or Owen or Lucas or Tyler, whoever, they've completed some requirements. Those arrows are now green. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, okay, who needs what approval? So I can see Johnny over here. He's been really eager. He's been doing some work. So he believes he just completed Scout Requirement 4A. And this is where Jody, if you can take a look here, let me see if I can move my screen up a little bigger. This is where Jody, his mom, said, yes, Johnny has completed square knot, 2 half hitches, and so on and so forth. I now have to meet with Johnny and say, Johnny, show me this. Show me. So this is the testing part. So I'm going to meet with Johnny and say, Johnny, I need to test you on showing me you have these requirements done. Once he shows me, whether it's virtually or face-to-face, I will then approve it. Okay, and we can do that right there. Now, in this case, let me zoom in one more time. So his mom said, Scout rank, he did all of this stuff, but then Johnny said, hey, Mom, you got to back off a little bit. I got this. So then for Tenderfoot, he signed off himself. But remember, it's green. My job is to now either have Eric or one of the adult leaders meet with Johnny and say, please show me you've mastered these requirements. And if those requirements are done, I can go in and mark approved. And you can see green will now turn to blue in his record. Now, since I, as a Scoutmaster, Rak Bhalla, am not the merit badge counselor for reading, I'm not touching this. It's not my role to approve a requirement. It's up to each merit badge counselor to go in and approve. And I'll mark it as approved. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, I'm sure. So now what was green in Johnny's requirements has now been turned to blue. And that is really the process that we follow. Okay.
Question, Rak. Do you have the ASM assigned to that patrol also do this?
Yes. So once Eric comes on board and says, I'm willing to sign up as a leader for Trash Pandas, he will have this authority. All leaders have authority to sign off, but they have to make sure that the Scout has been tested. Scout learns, Scout is tested, Scout is reviewed, and a Scout is recognized. 4 steps, never forget those 4. Okay. At any point, you can just click on any of these here. So I could go to Johnny Test by just clicking up here, and I'll see Johnny. Now, as a leader or as the Scoutmaster, I can assign Johnny a role. So for Trash Pandas, starting 5/22/20, I can assign him assistant patrol leader. I can assign him any one of these roles. I can assign him as a patrol leader now, and now that will show up in his leadership record. So for the Trash Pandas, I have to meet with them and decide who is going to be the patrol leader for the next 2 months, okay? And then I position approved, and it's done. As a parent, you need not concern yourself with this.
Mr. Rak, I have a question.
Go ahead, Jared.
If we have like the leadership for 2 months, will it still count as like because for Eagle, don't you have to have like 3 leadership positions? Will this count as one of those leadership positions?
Great question. Great question, Jared. So for the first 6-7 months, you as new Scouts are going to revolve every 2 months in leadership, and that will not count as an official leadership recognition. You have to usually be in leadership position for about 6 months. But I want to give each of you, or as many as I can, within Trash Pandas, a leadership role and a little experience. In about 6 months, then we'll get serious, and one of you will sign up for 6 months. But for now, I'm going to have you do 2 months at a time. Okay, I know Jake has already emailed me and says he would like to be considered. And you ultimately, as Trash Pandas, will select who your patrol leader is for this month, then 2 months later, who the next one is and who the next one is. We have to create a formal process, okay? Not everybody will get a chance, but Jake has already thrown his hat in the ring and says, I like to be considered. So we'll move forward with that. Anybody?
But part of his question was for advancement to Eagle.
It will not count.
It doesn't count until you're a first-class scout going to star, because there's a requirement for leadership between first class and star, and likewise to life and Eagle. So these positions are just great experiences, and you should take advantage of that.
Okay, I'm going to log in as a parent right now. I'm going to log in as Sean's mom. I'm going to go to my dashboard. I'm running a little bit behind time. Just give me about another 5 minutes if you could. You can click on this place called Events. And this shows you all of what's happening and what is about to happen. So May the 25th, let me zoom in a little bit on that. May 25th, there is no Monday meeting. There is an Order of the Arrow Lodge meeting. Court of Honor has been postponed, and so on and so forth, okay? That changes, so you want to check on it. We in Troop 2 and Troop 7 have 2 calendars. One is a Google Calendar that is synchronized with our Scoutbook calendar. So when in doubt, you can check either one. They should be up to date, okay? Okay, let me back out. If you want to see a bird's eye view, you can go to click down below and you can see the entire calendar right there. And you can scroll between May, June, and so on and so forth. You can click down on anything. Okay. But I update it daily. So check in as much as you can. So there's a PLC, a Patrol Leader Council coming up. Okay. Okay, so that's essentially it for Scoutbook. Everybody gets a role. There's a parent role, there's a Scout's role, and then the adults doing the approval and just working with Scouts. As a Scoutmaster, Mark and I assign merit badge counselors. We are the only people that can assign merit badge counselors. You can't just pick your own and move forward. Okay, I'm going to go back in. You should all be able to see my PowerPoint. If you don't, please let me know. So there are many, many different strengths in Scoutbook. You can track almost anything for each Scout. There's good visibility for the parents to see what's going on. You can issue reports. You can work with leaders. You can, it's got a reasonable calendaring tool. We use Scoutbook to take attendance. Especially if you are a leader, you have an obligation to attend 75% of all meetings, 75% of all outings. So we take attendance at outings, we take attendance at troop meetings through Scoutbook. Patrols can talk to each other as well. Your smartphone can also be used. So just use a Chrome browser or whatever Safari browser, and you can just type in scoutbook.com and boom, you'll see everything you would on a regular big screen PC. Yes, you can track hiking logs, service logs, you can do all of that stuff. I think they broke it. That's my personal opinion. Don't worry about feature assistance. That's more for leaders. The weakness is this activity log, and their calendar tool right now cannot support a transportation plan. So that is why we, as Troop 2 and Troop 7, still support this other tool called TroopKit, which is our outing tracking tool. Who's going on an outing? I know Jake's going, I know Owen's going, but they need a ride. So who can give them a ride, and so on and so forth. So we use TroopKit as a way of tracking who's going on the outing and who's driving the different Scouts. Scoutbook isn't there yet. Okay, key points I want you to remember. Get your own unique Scoutbook login accounts, okay? Each Scout, each parent. Scouts need to keep all their Scoutbook data up to date. They rank requirements, merit badge. Don't be that Scout that lost his blue cards and he lost a year's worth of effort. Don't be that Scout, okay? And then I encourage you all to watch the process of how to start a merit badge and how to work with the merit badge. I sent the troop an email on May the 6th. It said, please watch. If you haven't already watched it, take, I think it's a 15-minute video, and it will teach our new scouts especially, and the parents, the process of how to start a merit badge, work the merit badge, and complete a merit badge. 15-minute investment. And the last thing, always call me. When in doubt, I am here. You should all by now have my phone number. You should all have my email address. If you can't reach me, you can reach Mr. Mark. Okay. That, in a nutshell, is Scoutbook. So I'm going to leave it open now to any questions that you may have, and I'm going to, oh boy, okay. Yes, I'm going to stop my recording now. Any questions?